the Oklahoma Newsroom, this is an OSU update with Kyle Fredrickson. I'm Jenny Carlson. Kyle, not much going on the Cowboy front right now, but we did get some news out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is home of Mason Rudolph. He talked to the newspaper there recently and basically echoed some things that his dad told you earlier this year about coming out of redshirt, and that it was tough. No surprise there, right?
Right, definitely. You know, it's been an interesting topic in terms of Mason and how his situation played out last year. On the decision to burn his redshirt was right around the time that Mike Gundy and the coaching staff was very mum on what was happening, the reason behind their personnel decisions. They really clamped down, and even when they made Mason available for interviews, that was one topic that they pretty much told the media that was off limits, at least for a while. So in the article by Brett McCormick, the same guy who covered Mason when he was in high school at Northwestern and Rock Hill, asked him about it. You know, what was the decision like? And Mason was honest, it seems. You know, he said that at that point in time, he would have liked to finish out his redshirt season, obviously with 2 games remaining on the schedule. But the Cowboys were thrown into a position where he was the best available. He understood that. He was obviously very excited for the opportunity. But, you know, being from a very religious family, it was a very tough spiritual decision. They had said they prayed on it quite a bit, and they were worried. Now, obviously, after how they finished the season, Rudolph's dad had told me back in January they couldn't have written a better script for how it played out. So, you know, by this point, that decision isn't so controversial, but it is interesting to just kind of get inside the mind of Mason when that was all going down.
Well, and I think everybody can understand the trepidation. They're struggling at the time. The offensive line is having a tough time. They got to go to Baylor. They got to go to OU. I think it all adds up that we would all say, yeah, there'd be a lot of worry.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I think one thing that's interesting about Mason and something else that was written about in that story is he's not, you know, it's not unusual for him to be in a situation where he's surrounded by a lot older people, people who are more experienced than him. He even mentioned his trip to Israel. You know, that for him was a bigger religious experience, doing it with his grandparents, to kind of see those very first sites of Christianity. And he said in the article, I was the youngest guy there. You know, it was a vacation, but we were up early. I was, you know, kind of acclimating to that environment. And I think that's pretty fitting for a guy who was able to come in and perform so well under pressure, surrounded by guys more experienced than he is. So certainly Cowboys fans are excited about the future because of those past few games, you know, and Mason's kind of had this summer to unwind as they get ready for the next season.
He won't have much downtime because he's already in the Heisman conversation. Right. Something else he talked about, said, I just got to do my job, but still, he's the guy that people are going to be talking about in those contexts too. Oh,
certainly, and you know, when you look at some of these preseason reports of the Heisman talk, the College Football Playoffs talk, it all stems from Rudolph, and I think that's rightfully so. With the other pieces the Cowboys bring back, you like everything that they have, but when you have your quarterback in place, when you know you have that guy, it sets them up pretty well to probably be that 3rd preseason favorite, thanks to Mason.
All right, thanks. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.